speaking of Dark Souls, how did you discover FromSoftware Souls games, and do you find them difficult?
I have several tabs open to explain this. Imagine if I Am Mayo, the requirements for I Am Mayo were quadrupled by 1,000, absolutely insane requirement. It would still be 1 out of 10 in the easiest game, but it would just take 100 hours. Would you still consider, should a game like I Am Mayo go up
pressing X for 100 hours? I mean, that's a skill in itself. It's not difficult. Okay. It's not difficult, right? I saw the first film, but other than that, I don't know anything about.
Score, we are going to sit down and watch.
I promise you, I'm saving myself. And when I visit you, we can sit down and you watch me react to for the first time.
I'll record the whole thing. That's so cool.
Hi, I'm Score. Welcome to Behind the Profile, the new interview format on this channel, where I talk about trophy hunting with a guest. And we have one dedicated topic per episode. Today, we have a very special guest on the show. Let me introduce you to him, Mode47. We met through the comments of his video. He had a video out for his 200th Platinum Dead Space remake, if I'm not mistaken, and I watched that video.
Hey guys, Mode47 here. I'm finally sinking my teeth into the Dead Space remake.
I was mesmerized by his voice, and I wrote a nice comment. Then I watched another video, and by that time, I was in love with his voice. We chatted a little bit, and that's how we met. And I think that's 2 years ago. So we have been good friends. We chat on a regular basis, and he is a fighting game enthusiast. He coached me kind of to the platinum in Mortal Kombat X, my second rarest ultra rare platinum. So that's a big thing for me. You have the fighting game and the retro games. You introduced me to a lot of retro stuff, to new games. His videos are very chill. So if you're looking for chill episodes of new games, check out his channel. And you reinvented also the format of trophy list reviews by adding personal trophies. And I think the people like that very much. I at least enjoy this because it adds a little bit of something special that isn't in any of these other profile reviews. So that's a cool stuff. Thanks for being here, Mo. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And thanks for the kind words and the intro there. And I had no idea what you were going to say and wrote about that. So that was nice
that's
to
on
hear
purpose.
that.
Yeah, that's absolutely. On purpose.
That was really fun and nice to hear firsthand. And it's always super kind anyway. And I just want to say you say I inspired you. You in turn inspire me as well. Every video you do, I see your love and your passion for our medium, which is trophy hunting and games in general. So it comes back around, my friend. I am humbled as well, and it's very kind words. So thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to the chat we're going to have today.
I'm super excited, and my first question is, what did you before this?
What did I do?
I will ask this question every time a guest comes on because I stole that question from another podcast, and I think it's a very interesting question, something personal.
It is, and you can take it's so open-ended. You can take that as any way. I mean, what did I do before sitting down and thinking, I'm going to make videos about the stuff I love? And it's quite a difficult question, really. Really, all I did was play games. I didn't even really write down what I thought about the games. I just formulated my own opinions as I went, and me and my friends were always like, we should do like a channel or something, and something like that, and it just never came into fruition. So really all I did before making videos about trophy hunting was trophy hunting itself. I was always focused on what platinums I wanted and what new games were coming out. I try and keep up with, whatever. And the only thing that has changed is, now I make a few videos on the topics that I would just, surround myself day to day anyway. And I've always been a massive gamer. It's not like, I started trophy hunting, when I did my YouTube. I was always trophy hunting since they came out. And one day I was just like, well, the time is now. My 200th platinum. Now it's time to make videos on it. So I left it a bit late, I think, and which is unfortunate in a way, because I missed out on a lot of games that were fresh in my mind. My 10th platinum, my 15th, or whatever. I could have made a video on those very early platinums, and I think that would have been interesting. But now I have to like really sit in my chair and look back at like, how did I feel when I platinumed, I don't know, Uncharted 2, or whatever. I would have loved to have gone back and done that, things like that. But yeah, to answer your question plainly, I just trophy hunt. And that's all I did before making videos. I just did the same thing, really.
That's a fair question. An answer. So when and how did you become a trophy hunter? You said you were always trophy hunting, kind of, but how did it start for you?
Well, it started with, I think it was 2000. When did trophies come out, Score? 2007? 2000, something like that? It was a very long time ago, right? It wasn't
I can't remember. I think my first is from 2009 or something.
I'll have it here.
I don't
launch was 2006, as in PS3 launch, right? So, and the first trophy set came out a bit after that. It was Super Stardust HD, I think, was the very first game.
Yeah.
A few games got patches, and a few games got released with them inherently. So the very first trophy I got was from Bad Company 1. Bad Company 1, Battlefield. And it's a brilliant trophy name. It's called Get Me Started.
I saw that.
I mean, you've probably seen that before,
perfect,
right?
Perfect.
So yeah, it is the perfect first trophy. And so that was the first time it popped for me. And before that, I was always into completion, unlockable secrets, different costumes you can unlock, the difficulties you can go through. So I guess it kind of started with, stuff on the SNES, Zelda and Super Metroid games, how they're renowned for exploring unlockable secrets, finding hidden stuff. And then games like Resident Evil, again, notorious for like speed running, different difficulties, different endings. So all these things came into play. I was always into completion. So when these little digital collectibles come out from PlayStation that reward you for stuff I was already doing and interested in, I found that fascinating. I was like, wow, I need to complete this game, and then I've got it stamped on a profile which other people can see. I loved it. I just loved the idea of them. But obviously Xbox achievements were out before then, and I paid them no mind before that. I was like, oh, Xbox have achievements, that's cool. But I didn't care until PS3 got trophies, so I was a bit blinded by like fanboyism, I suppose. I didn't care until it was relevant to me. And I didn't have an Xbox 360 at the time. I only had the PS3. So yeah, that's kind of the history of how I got into that mindset. And then when trophies came out, every game I was playing was like, oh, what's the trophies like in this and that? And I think the very first platinum I got was Uncharted, which I'm quite sure got a patch for trophies. It didn't
got patched in.
Didn't inherently release with trophies. It got a patch about them. So that's my very. That was not my first platinum, actually. That was my second. My first platinum was Resident Evil 5. So that kind of full circles round nicely into what I was saying earlier. That Resi kind of got me into completion and speed running and completing the game with the knife only. That kind of challenge run mindset, which nowadays, that's a trophy right there. Complete the game with a knife. Complete the game without opening a box. So yeah, that's kind of summarizes it all. I think is that I always liked unlockables and completion anyway. And then when we were rewarded for them, I was like, cool, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing this. And I haven't stopped since. That's
so interesting, because it took me quite a while to notice trophies and really get into them. I noticed them here and there playing Uncharted. And I think my first ever trophy was in Infamous.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
On PS3. But it took me quite some time. And even my first platinum, which was Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1, and you get the platinum by finishing all the chapters. You don't have to do anything else. Even in 2012, I wasn't
Scott,
ready
I've lost
for it.
you.
It took me 3 more years. In
Oh my God.
2015, when I really looked at the trophy list, I think Until Dawn. And then I was like, okay, what did I miss after my first playthrough? So it's so crazy and so interesting to see someone who was immediately hooked and interested in that, while I was, I struggled with playing through games in that regard. So
I get it.
Challenge runs weren't on my radar for many, many years. And that's why I'm so interested in that. Okay. What would you say is your comfort level when it comes to difficulty in games? I was like 1 to 4 was my first difficulty rating, my comfort level, but then Bloodborne and Uncharted 1 on PS3 happened and notched that up a little bit. What about you? What is your comfort level, would you say?
Great question. I mean, I do range from 1 to 10. Nothing puts me off. So I guess I have, my comfort level is everything. There's certainly certain genres I would stay away from rather than difficulty rating. There's certain genres I wouldn't get along with. But difficulty as a whole, I'm happy to tackle 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s. I don't have many 10 out of 10 platinums. I know we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But I would tackle a 10 out of 10 if it was close to my heart and I like the genre or I'm familiar with the franchise. That wouldn't put me off from going for the platinum. But I am extremely... I leave games for years and I return to them. So generally I'll do a first playthrough without worrying about the trophies. And if that's a 10 out of 10 game, I'll try and enjoy the story. And then several years later, I'll come back to it. I'm like, right, time to get this platinum. And that's when I really focus on it. So difficulty, in a way, doesn't play into what I start. Usually it comes into play later when I fancy getting the platinum. When it's time to get the platinum, I think, right, well, this is 10 out of 10 now. I really have to focus and attempt it. So I think that's what I'll say about that.
Okay. Yeah, I think it comes to the mindset you have that is a little bit different from mine, because I always look, is that around my skill level? I can dedicate myself to something like Wolfenstein 2, for example, which is labeled as a 10 out of 10. And I
nailed that one twice.
I mastered that, yes. But I would say it depends on the genre and the comfort level of the games. The Souls games really, really raised that bar for me, because I think they put it up to 6 out of, or 7 out of 10 for me personally. 8 and 9 and 10 out of 10s are not my comfort level, but well, time for bragging a little bit. What's your most difficult platinum, would you say?
Are we going by difficulty or rarity here? Maybe
both.
They're both. I think
let's say skill-wise and time-wise.
Oh, time-wise. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't sorted by time for a while.
That's something I do want to discuss.
Sure.
Time and
skill-wise would be Street Fighter V, I think, without a doubt. And that's because of several reasons that we can go into. Rarity-wise is Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, which is another fighting game.
Yeah.
But I think that's more of a product of its time and a bit of luck and how popular, Mortal Kombat was back then on the PS3 compared to Street Fighter V as well. I mean, they're both difficult, but Street Fighter V is like notorious for difficulty, whereas MK versus DC, the game servers shut down and it was super popular, so that inflated the rarity a lot. I think that's, it's super rare because of certain things to do with the game and the platinum, whereas Street Fighter V, still active today. People still play SF5 over 6, even though 6, I think 6 is the better game. it is still very difficult, and you can still go for the platinum even now, and it's and it's still, however rare it is, 0.83%
Oh,
is
wow.
Street Fighter 5. So super, super rare. And just for comparison, MK versus DC is 0.45%. So that's my rarest and my most difficult. But yeah, Street Fighter 5 is a little less rare, but I think that is the most difficult platinum I have. Definitely a 10 out of 10 difficulty, put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. What's your thoughts on time-consuming platinums? Are they difficult, or?
I like to think if it's time consuming, it's because of its difficulty. That's what I like to think. And you get a sweet spot with some platinums. Diablo 2 comes to mind, which is both an insane time commitment and is pretty bloody difficult. You know, you can die at any point and that resets your progress to a hardcore character trophy.
Oh my
So you
God.
could spend 700 hours on a no death run trying to level to 99, which is the requirement, and you could die on the very last run, and that's all your progress reset. So sorry, that's another 500 hours on top, you know. So I think that is the kind of platinum that is both very difficult and time consuming.
Yeah.
And then what you're saying is, well, there's other platinums that are just time consuming. And then the third option of that is, you know, just difficult. So it takes you ages. So there's kind of like 3 versions of that, I think, which is interesting, isn't it?
Exactly. And I noticed that my realms of difficulty and time consuming is a little bit different than yours, because when I think of difficulty and time consuming, I like to think about platinums that are like 50 plus, maybe 100, maybe 150 hours. And you mentioned it. Yeah, it can be 700 hours for one trophy.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
I mean,
okay,
all right.
okay, yeah,
So
that's fine.
my examples, yeah, are a tad extreme, but I do have some
It's
extremely long platinums, I would
It's
say
fine.
as well.
It's cool. It's very,
What
very
do I have? Monster
inspiring.
Hunter. Monster Hunter comes to mind. There's some long platinums. Wilds notwithstanding, the newest one, Monster Hunter Wilds, I think everyone should try and play. You don't need to have played the other Monster Hunters to get into it, and the platinum, and I'm going to say it's only 100 hours compared to
Oh, really?
200, 300, 400 hours that the other Monster Hunters are kind of known for. And yeah, they are difficult games as well, but it's so strange to think about Monster Hunter and explaining that to someone who hasn't played them before, because to me, Wilds is the easiest one, so it's easy to recommend, but actually they're pretty hard games anyway. They are pretty hard games. So there's Monster Hunter comes to mind.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, and MMO. So MMOs are like a whole different, you know, kettle of fish. They're completely in their own ball game, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I have the 14 plat FF14, and that's 500 hours on PSN profiles.
Wow.
I don't know how long I've played it for. Probably around that time, because I think I got the platinum and I stopped with that particular game. But there's a PS5 version with a different trophy list in a way that adds even more time. So I need to go back to it and play that and get that as well. So I would say that is an example of a very long game without the difficulty, because that's only 4 out of 10, 500 hours. Whereas something like Street Fighter 5 is 10 out of 10, but 150 hours, maybe because of the amount of time to get good at the PvP, for example. So that's interesting to think about, I think.
Yeah. Okay, I want to know from you, would you add +1 to the difficulty if the platinum takes over a certain amount of hours? Because I used to not care about time and grinds. I used to be the best grinder ever and didn't care about anything. But the older I get and the more games I play, the more these tedious grinding sessions become tedious. And I'm like, okay, a 2 out of 10 but 150 hour platinum should is it just a 2 out of 10, or maybe is it a 3 out of 10 because of the time commitment? What are your thoughts on
I
this
think time commitment can be separate from difficulty. I think as long as a guide shows at the forefront, which they do, I think they're right at the top, don't they? They show the time and they give it a color rating. They show the difficulty, give it a color rating, and the number of playthroughs to kind of complement the time, I think, doesn't it? So I think it can be extremely separate, and I don't think difficulty should go up if it's a long time.
Okay.
You can have
fair.
Imagine if I Am Mayo, the requirements for I Am Mayo were quadrupled by 1,000. Absolutely insane requirement. It would still be 1 out of 10 in the easiest game, but it would just take 100 hours. Would you still consider? Should a game like I Am Mayo go up?
Pressing X for 100 hours. I mean, that's a skill in itself. It's not difficult. Okay. It's not difficult, right?
But yeah, no, I wasn't on board with what you were saying until you said literally that. And okay, I think maybe actually you're right. It's like a constitution rating.
Yeah,
it's like how much can you take?
Yeah.
Okay, you've painted it in a new light for me, Score. To be honest. But yeah, maybe so then. Yeah, maybe it should go up.
It's so, what's the word? It's so dependent on the person sitting in front of the game.
Yeah,
I get that. Some people don't.
It's like
mind
a fatigue
200-hour grinds in Monster Hunter, and I'm struggling to collect. I don't know, 200 collectibles because I got so burned out from that. I used to love that. I mean, I have no bad memories from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is insane. I think 200-hour platinum, something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe a 1 point increase is fair. I mean, I'm looking at some of my kind of mid-range difficulty platinums that are quite a few hours. Like, God, I've just got a few here. Dragon's Crown is 4 out of 10, for example. Little 2D beat 'em up, very good game. That's 90 hours and 11 playthroughs. So that's pretty rare, probably because of that time commitment and the number of playthroughs. But yeah, I think that something like that could go up a point. 4 out of 10 to 5 out of 10 because of the time commitment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what you're saying is has got some feet to it.
Thank you. I'm getting there. I will make this a thing because lately
you convinced me.
I've been looking at guides, right? Oh, it's a 25-hour platinum, 2 playthroughs, not difficult at all, and I'm struggling.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's okay. Okay, maybe next question. What used to be difficult but isn't anymore?
Fighting game platinums, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna go find it. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my guns there. I was saying it as like a far-fetching thought, but actually, there's some good reasoning to that. Mortal Kombat is the perfect example of that franchise. So, MK versus DC, which I think is actually considered MK7. Mortal Kombat. Actually, I think it's Mortal Kombat 8 in the grand scheme of things. And MK9 then is the most difficult Mortal Kombat Platinum because it has at least a minimum of 240 hours because you need to use every character for like 20 hours or something for a mastery thing. It's insane. It was insane. I never got it. One of my regrets, but you would hate it. It's like a roster of like 30 characters and you've got to use each one for 24 hours in game time.
Wow.
Barring PS3 loading and all that. So it was a super difficult platinum. And then each release got easier and easier. MK10, as you might know, because you've got it yourself, is pretty difficult. Not as hard as 9, but pretty difficult. 11 then became very easier than 10. And MK1, the newest one, is now the easiest Mortal Kombat Platinum there is. Same with Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 5, and in turn Street Fighter 6. So Street Fighter 6 is the easiest platinum. It's still a decent 7 out of 10. Don't get me wrong. You got to win tournaments against like real players, right?
Oh wow!
It's still difficult, but not as hard as Street Fighter V's Gold League, which is what I talk about a lot, and which makes it 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
But Street Fighter 4 is even harder than that because you've got combo trials, frame perfect combo trials for
Wow.
each character. You have to complete every single one. And they are very difficult, unless you're a virtuoso at your craft, which I recently had a trophy list review, and he was just a master of fighting games. My most recent one, I can't remember if you saw that one, but he was absolutely insane at fighting games, and he only just played them for about 5 years. He left a comment after I did the review, and he was like, "Yeah, I've just been playing fighting games for about 5 years." And I can just you can just do the combinations. So yeah, that was crazy to see. And yeah, my point being, Street Fighter 4 is the hardest, Street Fighter 6 is the easiest. Same with Mortal Kombat. 9 is the hardest, and MK1 is the easiest. And not so much with the anime games like Blaze Blue and Melty Blood. There's these anime fighters that are kind of easy, kind of medium, no matter what entry it is. But generally, I think a new fighting game platinum is much easier than it used to be. Tekken as well is extremely easy. If you loaded up Tekken, you would be able to get the platinum in about a week, no doubt. Tekken 8 easily. Tekken 7.
I heard Tekken 8. That's the name that pops up. Yeah, okay.
And that, that's probably a 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 platinum. 20 hours maybe. I've played that game for 800 hours over the last 2 years. It's my go-to game. So it's just another example that platinum and difficulty, don't coincide with how much you can love a game and continue to play it. But yeah, to answer your question, what got easier? Definitely fighting game platinums. I think now for trophy hunters, now is the best time to get into fighting games because they're the easiest ones. They are the easiest they've ever been.
Okay, fair. With a lot of practice comes passion. I think
perhaps that as well. Perhaps I can just load these up.
That's fine. And I try to dip my toes into every genre. That's why I started Mortal Kombat.
You took a big old dip into MKX. You could have chosen any other game. But you got it. I'm very proud of you.
The advertisement is to blame for that, because I saw the on TV I saw a commercial for that, and or on the internet, I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but then I had never seen anything like it. The brutality of the combos and whatnot. It was insane, and I thought, okay, I had never
very good looking game. That is still a good. I love MKX. I love how dark it is compared to the other ones. And
it's very gritty and dark.
Pretty dark no matter what MK game you play. But 10 is especially that kind of feeling. It's very cool.
Yeah, I bought that, and that's why I chose that one, because I saw a commercial for that at the time, and
nice.
To picture my level of fighting game knowledge, I struggled to perform the combos in the tutorial. That's why I stopped playing in 2013 or something
way
like
back when.
Yeah, and I'm glad I tackled this adventure with your help, and focus on one character and get better with that. So that was very good. I mean, we kind of answered the question, but I want to double down. Where do you draw the line? What is too difficult?
I kind of mentioned earlier, difficulty doesn't really play into what I attempt, but genres would. So rhythm games are I just can't play them. I'm terrible at anything rhythm. So I think, I look at Crypto the Necro Dancer. Some people, love that challenge. They think, oh yeah, I can tackle that. And I would love to, but I just know in my heart, in my soul, everywhere that that would be I'd be stuck on 2%. I just can't do rhythm games, which is funny because fighting games in themselves can be a kind of rhythm. You know, you've got timing, you've got parrying, you've got, you know, Dark Souls parries, dodging at the right time. I think it's the consistency of having to do something to a rhythm. You're not faltering. You're just going do. I'm playing Claire Obscure at the moment because why not? Obviously, my partner has convinced me to play it, as well as it being Game of the Year and being amazing. And a lot of the fights in that are parry timing, of course, but some of the fights are like you have to parry at the same timing about 10 times in a row. And I'm playing on the most difficult difficulty, which again, actually, is nothing to do with trophies. You can play on any difficulty, but I fancied it on the max difficulty. And I'm struggling quite a lot. Maybe to the deficit of the enjoyment of the game, I'm thinking about turning the difficulty down because I want to experience the story more and enjoy it more. But this might be a bit too difficult for me because of the rhythm, you know, that rhythm timing. So I think I do have a line. And I think the line is when I stop enjoying the game I'm playing for the difficulty. Claire's a bit of a funny example of that because the difficulty has nothing to do with the trophies. It's just how I want to enjoy the game. But yeah, rhythm, genre, and I don't know. I've never tried Super Meat Boy, which is like a, you know, another 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
But I love platformers. I really do like platformers. So I'm wondering if that's like, not a hidden gem because everyone knows it, but maybe a hidden gem for me, something I haven't tried, but I might like. So, and maybe I've put that off because I know how difficult the platinum is in my, you know, my mind without thinking. So there's games like notorious difficult games that I haven't tried because they're so difficult. So that might be the line, something that's so notorious, I don't go ahead and try it because it's something that's not super close to my heart. You know, I would play Super Meat Boy because it's a 10 out of 10. That would be my reasoning. I would much prefer a new Mortal Kombat to come out, play it because I love it, and it just happens to be a 10 out of 10. That would be my preference.
I have a story to tell because I started Wolfenstein 2 because of the notorious difficulty. And I ended up loving the game. The gameplay is very much fun, and I love the story. The characters have heart. The story is a bit over the top, but overall, it's a very, very good game. That's why I did it twice, because I love and enjoy the gameplay so much. And of course, the challenge. But I started it because it was notorious for being difficult. And I think Super Meat Boy could become something we both enjoy. I'm not particularly good with platformers, but I do love the challenge and I do want to conquer that game. It's on my 10 out of 10 in my challenge that is ongoing. So
that's the 10 out of 10.
That's the 10 out of 10. So eventually I want to tackle that game. And it becomes, or it can become, a very beloved and close to the heart experience. So maybe
through you know through trial and fire becomes love. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, next kind of topics. So thank you for doubling down on the line, because that's fair. Rhythm games. That answers my question perfectly.
Yeah. Guitar Hero, never very good at.
Yeah, fair. Same for me. Rhythm game. The only rhythm game I played was Metal Hellsinger because of the soundtrack, and it was fun.
That's interesting. That's interesting because that's something I know I would love because I love metal, but
and it's
I've
not
been put
that
off
difficult
because it's rhythm.
If I can get the platinum, you definitely can get the platinum.
Maybe that will, you know, get me into the genre.
Yeah. Okay, difficulty and guides. Do guides remove the difficulty? What's your thought? Do you use guides? What's your thought?
I do use guides, and I do check the guide before purchasing a new game. So that's, you know, that is definitely my line of thought. I use it as like an early warning system, an interception kind of system. I like to know how difficult a game is, I suppose. and I like to know if there's any missables without spoilers. So the guides are very useful for that. But I generally play a game through without any guide. You know, the first time I play it through without guide. So unfortunately, that usually means I have to double the number of playthroughs recommended.
Yeah.
But I find I enjoy the game a lot more than as if I was sitting there reading a guide at every point, wondering if I'm going to miss a T-junction in a road and miss a chest and not get a trophy. You know, I'd much rather play it through naturally, miss that chest that doesn't get the trophy, and then think, that's fine, I'll get it on the next playthrough. So yes, I do use a guide, but personally, it doesn't affect my difficulty because I play games through normally the first time anyway, and whatever I miss, I just do another playthrough. I'm used to games like Resident Evil where you need like 11 playthroughs anyway, and if you miss a knife only run, you just do that on the, you know, you do the no save run, you do the no gun run, and whatever else on your fourth playthrough. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But it becomes a problem on longer games, and it's definitely shot me in the foot a few times where I thought, I wish I looked at the guide and done it in one sitting because I'm not enjoying this game enough to do a second full 40-hour playthrough or what have you. So yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, I think.
That's what I was thinking, the double-edged sword with longer games, with even with shorter games. Some games aren't that good on a second playthrough. For example, Murdered Soul Suspect was a decent game. I enjoyed it quite a bit, but they're basically all collectibles are missable, and I used a guide, and I was more reading the guide than playing the game, and that ruined my experience with the game. And this year I stopped looking at guides, or maybe the part before the guide is the roadmap. I'd like to call the roadmap, how difficult, how many hours, how many playthroughs in that. I do look at that, but I don't look at guides on my first playthrough. That's something I stopped doing.
I think it's something so important for like the enjoyment of the medium. It's just, it just takes away. If you're not playing a game to experiencing it, you're just reading off an Excel sheet, and you know, anyone can do that. Anything can do that. AI could do that easily. You know what I mean? It's like you've got to just step away from the guides a bit and try and enjoy the game. I think what you're saying is really relevant to a game we've both played, and I'm wondering if you know what it is. Can you think of it? I haven't made a video on it, but it's something you've played this year, and it's Still Wakes the Deep.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a really good example of this,
right?
Yes,
exactly.
Imagine playing Still Wakes the Deep, but looking at a guide for every missable body, because they collect a bit morbid, but the collectibles are dead bodies, unfortunately, and phone calls and very important story-driven stuff.
Yeah.
And I was thinking through the whole thing, how much I was loving this game, the atmosphere, the story. I really enjoyed it, Score. And I don't usually like walking simulators, but I really love this game. And I was just thinking, as a trophy hunter, if I was looking at a guide, all of this would be ruined for me. Every corner, every area, every linear bit would be ruined for me. I understand that it's too linear for some people, and not everyone would appreciate it as much as me anyway. But I think that's really relevant to what you're saying. Following a guide there would ruin that experience of playing the game through blind. And again, I still recommend the game, but it lost a bit of magic when I was doing the collectible cleanup, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the thing. I also would say I recently played the DLC, and it increased my love for the whole experience.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because I'm going to get that soon.
The DLC, I highly recommend the DLC. It's not too bad. And with a game like Still Wakes the Deep, a single first blind playthrough is mandatory because the game isn't that long and it is everything. So
it's like watching a film, but the film will be ruined for you if you follow the guide.
You read along the lines.
You're reading along the lines.
Oh, this person will come up. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it as well, and I sat down with my partner and we played it together, and she absolutely loved watching me play that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, little guide use as possible, but good for a heads up on missables, bugged trophies we didn't mention,
and for cleanup, right?
And for cleanup, yeah. I think that's the best way to enjoy these games.
Okay. When it comes to difficulty or difficult games, no game has been mentioned more often. Dark Souls, the mother of difficult games.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Dark Souls, how did you discover FromSoftware Souls games, and do you find them difficult?
I have several tabs open to explain this. All from
That's
PSA
what we like.
Profile.
The guests come prepared.
I did. I was like, I'm sure I've done this in a certain order. So,
okay.
I always knew of Dark Souls and Demons Souls. How many plurals in that? I love it. I always knew how difficult it was, and I worked at Curry's at the time, PC World and Curry's when it came out. So we, selling computers, retail, selling video games. So people would come in and ask about, new games quite often. It wasn't quite working at Game Station or Game, but it was kind of that side of things, if you will. So I knew how difficult Demons was, but it's not something I was interested in trying whatsoever. And Dark Souls came out. That was actually the first one I played. Dark Souls I bought, the limited edition. I've still got it. It's got a nice art book and stuff. That was the very first one I played, and it was too difficult for me. I loved fighting games. I loved, more difficult games back then. Big fan of XCOM back then, for example. But Dark Souls, no, it was too hard for me. So I can tell you that I played Dark Souls for, where is it? My tab here. I played it for August 27th, 2012 to 1st of September 2012. There were my trophies earned, 3 trophies. And I did not earn another trophy for another year, where I gave it another go, it looks like, for 2 days in 2013. And then I stopped again. So Ring Bell of Awakening at Undead Church. I think that's the gargoyle boss fight in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
That's pretty much as far as I got. But then Bloodborne came out, and I bought it. And I think I bought it on offer, so I didn't buy it day one. And score, I have to tell you, I completed this game, platinumed it in 2 weeks. So going from not getting along with Dark Souls, dropping it, to getting the platinum in Bloodborne in 2 weeks, and getting good enough to do that, I was absolutely hooked and addicted because of Bloodborne. Yeah. So that was in 2016, January 2016, until 9th of February 2016, I platinumed Bloodborne. So 9th of February, and I went back to Demon's Souls, which I picked up because of Plus.
Nice.
And 9th of February, the same day I platinumed Dark Souls, I loaded up Demons and got my third trophy in that game, for killing the spider demon. And then I platinumed Demon's Souls in 2 weeks, 23rd of February.
Wow.
And then I went to Dark Souls, back to it again, 25th of February, right after platinuming Demons, and I platinumed Dark Souls in a month. End of Feb to the end of March. So in 2 months, I went from Bloodborne Plat, Demon's Souls Plat on PS3 to Dark Souls Plat PS3.
Wow.
And since then, I've gone back to every single Soulsborne and gotten the platinum that I think I can think of it. I am missing a few. Fatigue did kick in a few years ago. It's easier to say the ones I'm missing. I'm missing Elden Ring PS5 edition, or was it PS4? I've got one of them. So I need to do a second playthrough. And I'm missing Sekiro. Sekiro is the only other one I'm missing. And Sekiro is the one that hurts, I think, because we kind of touched on it earlier, but rhythm, and that game is parry heavy central, right?
Yeah.
So I do actually struggle with Sekiro. It's something I need to return to give another go, because it's been a while.
where have you stopped playing in the game?
Oh God, I'm not sure. I'd be able to tell you through trophies, through the power of trophies and timestamps.
Yeah. Dear Diary, which trophy?
Exactly. Sekiro. Got it right here. I am only 6% trophies in on Sekiro. That's just loading up. But I'm missing Demon Souls Remake Plat as well. So Demon Soul Remake Plat and Sekiro, 1 Elden Ring. That's it. I've got 2 Night Rain Platinums, which I'm really proud of this year. Both of them.
Yeah.
You got to start from scratch. It's not an auto pop. You literally have to start from scratch, which is great.
Okay.
So that's how I started Soulsborne. I heard of it. I left it. Bloodborne got released. I got addicted to it, and then I plat 3 of the hardest games in my library, I think, in about a month. In about 2 months. And I'll tell you what it was about Bloodborne. It was so fast. No shield, right? As you know.
Yeah.
And I got so good at dodging everything and being good at the game that when I went back to Dark Souls, I just turtled everything and everything was slower, more chill. Bloodborne trained me to be really good at Soulsborne.
Love that.
Yeah, and my preferred style is heavy armor, big shield, big weapon. And Bloodborne forces you not to do that. Absolutely forces you not to do that. Yeah. That's what I love about it. That's where it started, and that's kind of where my Soulsborne has got to. Ended with Night Rain, I suppose, but I want to return to Demons Remake and Sekiro, and even another Elden Ring playthrough, which, I loved watching when you were streaming that, because it reminded me of how different people can play it and how much different another playthrough for me would be. So I do look forward to that.
These stories are so cool, and I often think about what would be the best beginner FromSoftware Platinum. I get asked sometimes, and for me it was Bloodborne as well, and that game changed everything. So my story with that is I heard of Demon Souls, of its difficulty, and I started the game, and I made it. I defeated the first boss, right? The Phalanx, I think. And and you should think that I would be excited to tackle the next boss or whatnot, come off a high, but the opposite was the case. I was so stressed from start to fighting the boss and defeating it that I stopped playing and didn't touch any Souls games for years. And then I think Bloodborne was free on PS Plus, and I downloaded the game. I heard of it, right? And the get good mentality that was out there and everything. And I gave it a go. And I don't know what it was. It was the aesthetic, I think, of the game, the whole setting that kept me going. And that was the game that opened the Souls door for me as well, the Bloodborne. And then I returned to Demon Souls, got the Platinum, and then I tackled Dark Souls and everything. So
so you also went Bloodborne, Demons, Dark, just like me.
Yeah.
And in fact, exactly the same score you were just saying. I beat, from the trophy list, timestamps, I can tell you, I beat Phalanx and then left him for 3 years. And then after I played Bloodborne, that's when I went back to Demons and I did the Tower Knight. And I remember beating him so easily after Bloodborne. I was like, why did I leave this? That was awesome. Yeah. And I could have experienced this years ago, but I just wasn't good enough then.
Yeah, the mindset wasn't developed. It has to do with mindset. And
absolutely.
Bloodborne gave us that.
But fantastic games and wonderful series.
To this day, I think Bloodborne is my favorite. Demons Souls is my second favorite because of the atmosphere. The bosses are not necessarily the most difficult. They are more like gimmick bosses. If you know their thing, then they are easier. They are not fast paced most of the time.
I think I did choose the Man Eaters on the PS3. The double boss, the demons on the bridge.
Man Eater. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think there was a notorious cheese for
this
them.
one. Yeah. Up the Tower of Latria.
I think I did that. And you just regen your mana slowly. So just left it running. But yeah, that might be the only cheese I can think of. But yeah,
I
great
think
fun.
I used a couple. I think. But anyways, okay, that was super cool. These stories about the FromSoftware games.
Yeah, good
fun. My question is, which of them would you recommend to soon-to-be FromSoftware fans? Is it Bloodborne or?
Are we talking platinum or just to experience it first?
I mean, that's a fair question.
That does change.
Let's give an answer for one and the other, for both.
Okay. I think just to experience Soulsborne, probably Bloodborne first. Getting good at that game and not worrying about trophies would set you up for all the others very easily, and it would be nice. It's kind of tied with Elden Ring because it's so modern, Elden Ring, and it's just such an accumulation of everything that Soulsborne is about. Everything they've learned from the previous games goes into Elden Ring. With the fact that it's an open world, non-linear, progression can be sideways. If you hit a wall somewhere, you pick another direction, and generally you can level up or find gear elsewhere that will help. That's what I love about Elden Ring, so maybe that would be a better first one. Platinum-wise, it probably doesn't change much for Platinum-wise. They all require mastery, don't they? Yeah, I think Elden Ring probably is the best answer for what one to start with, in all honesty.
Okay, fair. My thought was, but maybe that's why I felt overwhelmed by everything, because so that's why I like Bloodborne. It was more linear and I didn't know where to go. But it can be a roadblock, of course, if you get stuck on a boss. Roadblock. And then
my partner got stuck on. I remember two things. Well, I don't know, remember loads of things about my partner playing Bloodborne, and which was interesting because by then I was on Dark Souls 3 Platinum or whatever. Elden Ring wasn't out by then, but I sat down with her and she perfected the cleric beast. She did it without getting hit. Wow. She's not like a virtuoso at, the Soulsborne game. She just played really well in that fight, and it was just like euphoria. It was like, yes, you got it. And she struggled with Gascoigne and stopped there for a long time. But here's another facet about Soulsborne is a co-op. You can help people. You can play. Yeah, it's convoluted and quite anarchy driven, to actually summon someone into your game. But they're quite social platinums as well, or can be, if you play it like that, especially with someone you know. So yeah, there's lots of facets to Soulsborne that I enjoy, and Bloodborne is a really good one. Like you say, it's brilliant, driven, linear with some walls, but it's probably the most rewarding to play for the first time. And because some fights I won't say Dark Souls 1, because some fights in that are just designed to screw you over. I'm thinking of the Capra Demon arena. That is the smallest arena known to man. And then the gaping dragon, melting all your armor. If you don't know not to stand in the stuff and all your armor's gone, then you don't have the currency to repair everything. That I've known some people who kind of got stuck there as well because of that acid. So it's quite against you. I mean, they're all against you, really. So maybe Bloodborne, I agree with you, or maybe Elden Ring if you prefer a more open-ended kind of answer.
I think there is no right and wrong answer. No, it depends on the player who wants to get into these games, I think. But Demons has some very cool progression as well, because you've got the different stones, haven't you? Different levels you can choose at any point. It is not as intuitive, right? No, where to go. It doesn't explain shit, and the world.
The healing is finity, isn't it?
Yeah, the healing with the number.
The grass.
The grass. That's one, and the world tendency shit. When you defeat a boss and then you don't go and die in the hub area.
I can't remember why I'd have to throw myself off those stairs, but I remember having to do it every time.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
I do love the atmosphere, and the bosses aren't too difficult once you know their secret. But I wouldn't say it's a good beginner.
No, it's
I
probably
think
not a good starting
Bloodborne,
one.
Elden Ring, or maybe Dark Souls if you are hardcore and want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't
start
recommend
with...
2 and 3 without 1, but they're still
No,
good games, still great games.
I wouldn't say that. Okay. I'm satisfied with our answer.
Yes.
Okay, back to difficulty in general. What's your approach with a difficult trophy?
Try it, fail it, research it,
Yeah.
try it again, see how someone else did it, and then try it again. Yeah, I don't know, just keep trying, man. Like
keep trying it. Okay.
Breaks are important for sure. Whenever I have a hard trophy that I'm struggling with, generally I do take a break, and that we've talked about this a lot, off camera and whenever. How many different games we start and play, and how long we take to choose a game to play as well.
Yeah.
A lot of the time that's because I encounter a difficult trophy, or I'm putting off a difficult run. Don't know why, but Dead Space 2 just floated into my head there. I think I streamed it once on the German version, but I put it off because I don't want to get to the hardcore run. I'm kind of like not dreading it because I've already done it, but that's a big commitment of a 3-hour run. It reminds me of your Wolfenstein runs where they were fantastic to watch, very entertaining.
Thank you.
But unfortunately, you die near the end, and you're really sad, and I feel really sad. I'm like, oh god, it's a big emotional commitment sometimes to tackle these difficult trophies. So to answer your question in a broad way, I think you need to mentally prepare for them as well as time prepare, and you just give it your best shot. I mean, that's what I do. I just give it a go to the best of my ability, and then I practice. I mean, that's so true with fighting games in general. Street Fighter V, I had to unlearn everything I thought I knew about Street Fighter V, and I relearned a different character and applied new strategies. And once I saw progress, I doubled down on that, and I just got better and better. And eventually I was able to overcome the very difficult, Gold League trophy. So that's how I approached that. Other difficult trophies, I would do the same mindset, but on a smaller scale. I would try and, break down what's going wrong, practice where I can, and just see if there's any different strategies I can apply. And if I fail again after that, then I'll probably take a break and try something else.
Yeah, that's very healthy. And for me, it's I get to a point where I have nothing to lose. It was the same with Bloodborne, with Wolfenstein 2. Both times I was like, I have nothing to lose. I commit to it. I want that goal. And maybe I give up at one point. That's fine. But I do want to give it a try and not hesitate and being, what's the word? Being put off by the difficulty, by the infamous difficulty. I commit to it and then see how far I come. Breaks are very important. I remember my first time going for the Wolfenstein 2 Platinum, and I was so frustrated by dying again and again and again in my Leben run that my brain decided to earn the plat in GTA 5, which is a huge grind difficulty. But my brain found it so relaxing, and
that's not like a weekend platinum.
No,
it's like,
no.
That's a nice big break, and healthy, very healthy.
Yeah, and when I returned, I committed. And the thing is, I tried to brute force mein Leben at first. Don't practice on the second difficulty. That's the same as mein Leben, but with checkpoints. And then I kind of had to backpedal, and no, I I try and practice the sections I struggle with, and then when I practiced them 5 times in a row and didn't die once, then I felt confident, and that shifted my mindset from, oh, I can't do this, to I can do this actually.
Oh,
And
that's interesting. 5 times, and then you convince yourself you're okay to move on. I do the same with combos. I think I may have said the same to you during Mortal Kombat. I practice a combo. For me, it's 10 times from left and right, and if I drop it, then I start the 10 in a row again. So I'm not happy until I've done it 10 times in a row. Fair. And then I move on. I'm like, yeah, I know that combo now. I do that in Tekken, I do it in Street Fighter, and try and do it in other games as well. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's practice and breaks and the mindset of
that's healthy. It's healthy, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What would be a difficult trophy in your eyes? Because we talked, you generally try everything, but what would be a difficult trophy? And speaking more in general, maybe. What type
general terms, yeah. I find I have to mentally prepare for speed runs quite a lot. I love a speed run, I really do, but it's more like sitting down, finding the time. It kind of touches upon what I was saying 5 minutes ago. I want to sit down, mentally prepare, make sure I've got enough time to do it, and execute, the platforming or the speedrun techniques or whatever into action and not messing them up. So all that together is quite mentally taxing. I do love a speedrun trophy, but I find them pretty difficult, and generally you have to complete the whole game in a speedrun. Sometimes you don't even get to save in between, or when it's really mean, they bundle in with a no death run for some reason. I can think of several games. There's Dragon's Dogma 1.
Oh my god.
I think it's speedrun mode. It's called speedrun mode, which is lovely, fine. But you have to do it in one sitting. I can't remember. I don't think you can save during the run. And if you die, you restart it. And Dragon's Dogma is quite a long game. I think it's like a 12-hour run or something. It's quite long.
Wow.
If you went smallest. And I remember I died right at the end in Dragon's Dogma. I won't say spoilers, but fighting the final boss, there's a QTE. And I failed the QTE.
Oh, my heart.
Let's just say I fell to my death because I pressed the wrong button. And I had to restart the whole thing again. I cornered myself into a problem with Shovel Knight, another good speedrun trophy, and a difficult platinum, actually, Shovel Knight. I think that's like 7 out of 10 or something. You get saves in that game, but I had saved my progress up to a point where it just got me into trouble. Have you ever accidentally saved in Tomb Raider, the classics, whilst swan diving into a rock?
Yeah.
That's the situation I found myself in with Shovel Knight, okay? No matter what I did when I reloaded, I swan dived into the cliff. And it was just, I didn't have enough time left to execute the speed run. Dead Space 2, another notorious kind of, not a speed run, but more of a no-death challenge run with limited saves. So maybe I can expand that to challenge runs rather than speed runs solely. But yeah, I love speed runs, mostly from Resident Evil and Super Metroid. I used to speed run Super Metroid when I was younger. I used to submit times into magazines and stuff, that kind of stuff, where before the internet, and completion runs on Super Metroid. So all that love of that and mental, preparation and finding it taxing actually comes from Super Metroid and Resident Evil 1 easily, because the amount of challenge runs you have to do in Resi, no box runs, don't use handgun, knife only, invisible enemies.
Yeah.
So I love how much you need to prepare for these challenge runs. Yeah. But yeah, I've actually forgotten the question, but that's what I find difficult.
That's a difficult
trophy.
Difficult trophy, speedruns. Okay, yeah. Absolutely fair. Definitely. We haven't touched on this yet, and I'm not sure. I think I forgot this in my introduction. You are a big Alien fan. You have multiple Alien platinums.
I've got a pulse rifle to my left. I've got everything else. I've got so many figures of Alien. Yeah, I've got loads of stuff.
I love the passion. And I know the first film. I saw the first film, but other than that, I don't know anything about Aliens.
Score. We are going to sit down and watch Aliens together, and we'll make.
I heard it's the best one, and I would love to do that one day. I'm saving myself. I promise you, I'm saving myself. And when I visit you, we can sit down and you watch me react to Aliens for the first time.
I'll record the whole thing. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I love
okay. That. Yeah.
We can do you're that. Right. A massive Alien fan. Absolutely massive, yeah.
And I know nothing about the Alien franchise in general, other than there is a infamous Alien Fireteam Elite game. It's difficult.
Yes.
What is your thoughts on that? And would you recommend it to me? Because I'm thinking about maybe trying it. And
I need the help as well. So we need a third, first of all. Okay. I don't have the Fireteam Elite Platinum. It's one of my not regrets because it's still I don't have it. I don't have it. It's the only Alien game that I've played that I haven't got the Platinum in, barring a second Aliens Dark Descent Platinum, which I don't have. I started Dark Descent this year for the second playthrough, and a trophy bugged on me at the end, so I've left the last. I'm 75% on it. I've left it for one more playthrough. Basically, it was complete the campaign without any Marines dying. I guarantee and swear to you, no Marines died, yet the trophy didn't pop. So that sucks.
That's brutal.
So I don't have that Platinum, and I don't have Fireteam Elite. And for me, it's less of a time thing. It's more I didn't have anyone to play with, and I've had loads of offers to go through it, but then it's like sitting down to actually do it, and I was playing other games, so it's not a regret, more of a shame. It's a shame I don't have that Platinum, considering how big of a fan I am. So that would benefit me greatly as well to go through with that with you. Because I know the campaign quite well. I'll be a big help.
Okay,
but when it gets to the gets to the harder difficulties, we'd actually be helping each other.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's my thing. I was like, okay, but who would support a beginner? But if you know the game well, then
well, it kind of increments the difficulties. You can't do. You have to go through them all, and I'm pretty sure you got them individually. Perhaps I can't remember. But at a certain point, when you're done with normal difficulty, because you level up as you go, your gear and your weapons and whatever, and at a certain point, you'll be ready for a new difficulty, and by then you'll know the game as well as me, because it's just the hardest difficulty. You take a lot of damage, and friendly fire is a massive thing in Fireteam Elite.
Oh, really?
Absolutely, and quite linear. On purpose, quite linear corridors. So playing with randoms is not recommended. It's fine for like normal, maybe even a harder difficulty. But I think that the most difficult is called like insane or something. And the two hardest difficulties are pretty brutal for friendly fire and acid damage and everything. So that would be a great Platinum to go for.
Okay, I mean, we can discuss this off screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because that's a project I'm interested in. I'm always challenging myself with new games.
That'd be a wonderful 2026 for me if I was able to get the Fireteam Elite Platinum. Okay. And I know if anyone's watching this and they'd be like, I've messaged you Mode about that. I know loads of people have offered and messaged me, and it's just a timing thing. It's nothing personal. But I would love to get that. That'd be great.
All right. Now a question: what is a dream platinum for you? What would be the ultimate platinum?
Except Aliens Fireteam Elite.
I mean, it could be that.
I mean, I do want it, but let's have a think. This is maybe one of the questions that I looked at and didn't think about too much. Maybe one of the older fighting game ones. So fighting game, I might do it by genre a little bit, and maybe we can narrow it down.
Yeah, fair.
Fighting games, I would want Super Street Fighter 4. You know, I've gotten 5, I've gotten 6. I miss not having 4, and it's still obtainable. It's just very difficult, and I don't actually own the PS4 version. I've started the PS4 version, but it went off Plus, so I'm like 20-30% on that.
Yeah.
And then the other option is the PS3 version, which is old hardware and just as difficult, if not harder. And it's getting out the PS3 and committing to that and getting good at the game. So again, it's a big commitment that I haven't quite been ready to sit down and just go for. But yes, a version of Street Fighter 4. There's Vanilla, there's Super, there's Ultra. I think there's 3 different SF4 Platinums available. I would like one of them. I'm not going to be greedy. I would like one of them.
Okay.
That would be cool. Barring that, I think Divinity 2, Original Sin. Divinity Original Sin 2, which I'm currently playing. I've mentioned to you a couple of times in the last few days. One of my favourite games of all time. Definitely one I played without trophies in mind. I've got it on idle at the moment. As soon as we're finished, I'm just going to go straight back to it. I'm not even going to get up.
Fair.
There's 2 very difficult trophies on that. Well, really just one. There's a tactician playthrough, and then there's an honor playthrough, and they're just different difficulties, which is very, very difficult. Long commitment, turn-based games, stat crunching, finding the right gear, but it's just a wonderful game. It's so fun, and when I do get the platinum, and I'm positive I will, I think it will end up being one of my favorites. I've been playing for 300 hours, 400 hours at the moment, and I'm not sick of it in the least.
Beautiful.
So that would be a dream platinum for me. It'll be a good realized journey of knowing what I want and getting it. So that'd be really fun.
Yeah, the journey, a wonderful journey. That's a good answer.
All in preparation, and after that, I get to do it all again because there's a PS5 version, and I'm playing the PS4. The PS5 version runs better, obviously, and looks better. It's just come out. And then by the time I'm finished with that version, the new one hopefully will have a release date, which they're doing a new Divinity game that was at the Game Awards in December this month. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for that new one and to play this again on the PS5 after I finished my PS4 run. I can't wait.
Quick question in between. Are you a person that plays games back to back? You mentioned Divinity Original Sin 2 PS4 version, and would you jump immediately after that?
Yeah, I generally do that if I'm really enjoying the game, and
okay,
I've done that with Dragon's Dogma PS3 and PS4 version. I plat them back to back. Several reasons. I really love the games I do that with, so I have to enjoy them, and I can't wait to get back into them. I enjoy the differences between the two. Not just hardware-wise, and that is a bit strange because I do enjoy jank. I like games on old hardware because they're janky or they look different or feel different a lot of the time. And then quite often the PS4 version or whatever other version there is like an extended or reimagined. Dark Souls 2 is the perfect example of that. I plat them back to back, Dark Souls 2, PS3 and Scholar of the First Sin. And I did the PS4 version, then I went back to the PS3. The PS3 version is insanely better than the PS4 version. They did something weird with the enemy placements on the PS4 version for Dark Souls 2. So I really enjoyed that difference, for example. So yeah, I will definitely play games back to back if I enjoyed the game, pretty much.
Interesting, because my approach is completely different. I would wait so that I spread the playthroughs apart to get that feeling again a couple of years later.
I've done that with a few. Aliens Dark Descent was one of them. I waited a year. Elden Ring, I'm still waiting for that itch to play it again. Whereas several of my friends did them back to back. And they were like, oh, we'll drop the weapons for you, Baz. We'll get that sorted for you. I'm like, no, it's cool. I'm going to play it in a few years and I'll do it all again and it'll be just as wonderful.
Yeah.
So there's some games where I do share that mentality, but sometimes I can't help myself and I just start them straight away.
Especially for Divinity Original Sin 2.
Divinity,
How many hours? 305 hours? Oh, that was so great. Let's do 500 hours again.
Every playthrough is so different. It's so different.
Okay, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah. It's so fun.
I mean, it's an RPG, right? It's a lot of Well, yeah. Okay, then something a little bit more personal. I don't know if that's the word, but what is your earliest video game memory?
Well, it'd be the Nintendo for me. I was born in '87. And Nintendo, I think, was just, out around then or what have you. So I have some very early memories of just random Nintendo games. Probably actual coherent memory would be Super Mario, just Mario Brothers 3, the third Mario Brother, where it's all like pantomime. It's all like everything's playwright, everything's tacked on, and it's like a show closing with the curtains at the end of the level.
Oh, yeah.
And all
now I get. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, it's kind of all like that. And you don't realize that when you're younger. But that's my first memory is, I could probably do 1-1, world 1, level 1, blindfolded in how much I know that game.
Yeah.
So that is probably my earliest video game memory. But then, loads of others surface. We had some like knockoff Nintendo games that I really loved that weren't that popular. There's like one called Battle of Olympus that was basically a Zelda 2 clone. There was one called Solomon's Key that is like a puzzle game where you're an elf, and it's so like non-branded because you'd get them in the bargain bin. We couldn't really afford to buy new games off the bat, so we'd go to the bargain bin and get them for however much they were. So I have a lot of fond memories of like random older games like that. But yeah, Mario 3 I think was the very first one, and maybe the Game Boy was around then as well, so Tetris and whatever else. No, it's got to be Mario Brothers 3 for sure. That is my first memory.
Okay. You mentioned to me that you always played fighting games with your brother. How far are you apart? And was that the start of your competitiveness and difficulty enjoyment, kind of?
Playing my brother at fighting games is the ultimate 10 out of 10 difficulty. Yeah. I mean, he was always better than me. And maybe I've surpassed him in some games. But others, he can just load up and muscle memory will kick in. He'll kick my ass. And so I have two brothers, and I've got gaming memories with both of them. One is very competitive, and fighting games were our favorite games. The other was into like RPGs, and I have an unfortunate memory of wiping his save on Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, wow.
On PS1. So I've got memories associated with both of them, but they're kind of like all gaming related. But yeah, I think the competitiveness started with fighting games with my eldest brother, and it'll be Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, and then PS1 especially, because you had Street Fighter Alpha and Tekken 2, Tekken 3, right to the PS2, Tekken Tag, Soul Calibur, Dreamcast. We would just, every fighting game we would play together. And it certainly started it all, I think.
How many years are you apart? Because I have two younger brothers as well, but we are very far apart. I think the middle one is 6 years old, younger than me, and the youngest one is 14 years younger than me. So there wasn't the rivalry or any competitiveness.
I'm the youngest brother.
Oh, okay, two older brothers.
My other brother is 4 years older than I, and the eldest is 6 years older. And the fighting game one was the 6 years older one. So we were very close, even with the age difference. All three of us.
Okay, makes sense.
I have a sister as well, but she wasn't really into fighting games.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah. But no, all three of us were pretty gaming orientated, the brothers. But the oldest one was, my fighting game rival. And we would always try and best each other by secretly learning new characters and things like that. And we would introduce more people into the mix. Next door neighbor got really good at fighting games because he would come round and all me and my brother would do was play them. So then he got the game and got really good. And we'd be a trio of round robin, trying to best each other at Tekken 3. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I've got a lot of good memories like that, fortunately.
Yeah, that's nice. I sometimes wish I had that because we grew up in a household that wasn't video game focused, and I got very late into the whole video game thing. And some of the first game I played were Super Mario World 1 on the Game Boy, I think.
Yes, I like that one.
That was the
good.
first game, and then over at a friend's house, of course, Super Mario World on the SNES.
Yeah, something I really poured time into.
Yeah.
I wish my first memory was Metroid. I wish I could say, I love Metroid as soon as I could open my eyes. But I didn't play Metroid until Super Metroid, which is actually the third one.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, it was whatever my brothers would buy, and that was Mario at the time. And Turtles. Turtles, the old arcade Nintendo game. Mm-hmm. Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles. That was a good NES game as well. I've got good memories of.
Mm-hmm. All right. I have some rapid fire questions we haven't prepared.
Sure. No problem.
Give it a go. First playthrough on normal or hard difficulty. I think we have touched on this.
Yeah. I mean, I would do hard if it feels right. Mm-hmm. If it's like an incremental thing, I'll gladly do normal first and do the hard on the second playthrough. Mm-hmm. That's a bit of a toss-up, depending on what game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Early riser or night owl?
Night owl.
Night owl. Okay.
I think I went to bed at 3:30 last night. If I'm off work, then 4 a.m. is on the cards. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay. A little bit of a difference. I'm a early riser, but I sometimes do get the 4 a.m. in the morning, but I always regret it. I'm not good at that.
Yeah, I do regret it, but I can't help myself score. I'm sorry.
That's fair. Favorite gamer snack?
Oh, gamer snack. I'm diabetic, so I don't know if you knew that. So no. I have jelly babies next to me the whole time. Mm-hmm. So they're like kind of my snack by default. Mm-hmm. I have to have jelly babies to keep in line. Mm-hmm. And I really like them. So I'm going to say jelly babies.
It's fair. Mortal Kombat X, your 100th platinum, or Dead Space 2, your 200th platinum?
Oh, I wasn't expecting that question. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, God. I'm gonna. Oh God, I put so much thought into both of them as well.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to say Dead Space because I rushed the 90s to get to MKX, which I know you know about because we talked about it a lot. But also, Dead Space kicked off my whole YouTube kind of, wanting to make videos. And additionally, it's how we met through the comments. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say Dead Space for various reasons.
So it's very interesting. You chose your 200th platinum. But mine would be Fall Guys, my 100th, or Wolfenstein 2, my 200th. And I also would pick my 200th Wolfenstein 2 because that game started my YouTube career, kind of.
Oh, wonderful. There you go. Oh my God, we're so similar.
So, yeah.
Very similar.
Interesting. Favorite video game soundtrack?
Oh God. I literally have Divinity 2 playing in my ear right now because it's on the PlayStation.
Nice.
I do love Divinity, but I think I'd be cheating if I said that because it's just playing in my ear. It is fantastic though. I'm gonna say Tekken, man. Tekken's got some banging music. Every Tekken tune is on my Spotify, and in the most recent games, you've got a jukebox, so you can assign what music plays on what arena. And I spend hours going through that, so it's perfection. I've got my favorites from Tekken 1, 2, 3, 4, all the Tekkens, and I change them repeatedly as well. And yeah, I love the Tekken music, so I'm going to say Tekken. And a close second probably would be like Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat doesn't actually have any good music, really. There's some bangers in like Mortal Kombat 3, but Street Fighter has some great across the board, and Tekken is just god tier throughout.
Okay. What game would you love to play for the first time again?
Oh boy. Probably Super Metroid. I often cite it as my favorite game of all time, so it's quite easy to say, I wish I could play that again, but it's just video game perfection. It is the atmosphere, the narrative, or lack of. I don't think there would really be Dark Souls without Super Metroid. Environmental storytelling. That kind of off the cuff kind of story progression. She doesn't even have any lines other than like the first monologue in the intro. It's just a fantastic game. And of course there are the alien influences, and that it's sci-fi, and it ticks all the right boxes for me. And I still remember how I felt playing that for the first time. So to feel that again would be wonderful.
Okay, some kind of a follow-up question, because I think about that question a lot, actually. For me, it would be maybe Uncharted 2 or Bloodborne. But these are games in a series, right? And what happens if you remove your memory for these games? Would it count? When you have Elden Ring played, would that be also removed? Because
would that be the new favorite? Yeah, that is interesting.
Would Uncharted 2 be that great if Uncharted 1 hadn't happened? Right.
I have that with
how
Monster
does
Hunter
that play
World,
into the whole? I want to play that game again. What's your thoughts on that? Would you have to remove all of these similar experiences to get the full?
I think so. And my mind wanders to Monster Hunter World, which is probably a close second to your original question, to experience it again. But that was the first Monster Hunter that myself and my group of friends, we played start to finish, grinded the gear, fought every monster. And every monster was like a new boss battle, a new wall to conquer. With evenings and evenings of failure and having to respec, rebuild, and practice. And if I load up a Monster Hunter now, anyone, and just fight, your run-of-the-mill whatever, I know its moveset already. So I think I only feel that way with Monster Hunter World because it was our first proper Monster Hunter. What if our first Monster Hunter was Wilds? I'd probably feel the same about Wild as I did World, and it's all comparative depending on what one we first played. So, but saying that, I think World was special enough that it is the best one anyway. It is interesting thought. And for you, Uncharted 2, I think Uncharted 2 is the best one easily. So I think you'd still feel the same way regardless, to be honest.
Yeah, it made everything better than the first game, and that's a proper sequel. That's a perfect sequel. Yeah,
you're going in knowing you enjoyed the original, and then it just delivers on everything. It amps up everything, especially Uncharted 2. So I agree with you on that.
Okay. I have two more shorter questions, maybe. What are your plans for New Year's? How does a trophy hunter celebrate New Year's, kind of?
We'll be going around my best friends, and we will be playing some one-shot campaigns, whether that's a D&D or Pathfinder or a mystery game. We recently played a one-shot of a game called I think it's called Mothership, and it's basically if D&D was set in the Alien universe. So you all sit around a table, you all assigned a character with your own inventory, lots of role playing, lots of die rolling, lots of searching rooms and working out mysteries. We'll do that with a few drinks, and we probably won't even realize midnight will go.
Wow.
That's how I will be spending my New Year's.
That's such a cool thing to do. I would love to be a part of a group. I haven't played any.
If we do some online one, Score, which we do every now and again, I'll make sure you get an invite, mate.
Yeah, please.
I think you will. I think you will enjoy it. I think you will enjoy it.
I think so too, but I had never really a group to play with. Okay.
We had a big D&D campaign, and this is going back like the last 20 years. We did that for like 10 years, and now we're doing a big Pathfinder, which is very similar to D&D,
Okay.
but I'm enjoying it more. We've been doing that one for about 4 or 5 years. So imagine playing an RPG with the same character, with the same other player characters for 4 or 5 years. It becomes
insane.
very fun, very cool.
Yeah. But the memories, the experiences.
And we write everything down. We've got an artwork commissioned from like situations that arise in the game.
Be a part.
It's very cool, Squad. We'll get you involved. It's very good. It's very good.
Okay, final question. If you think, or when you think about 2026, what comes to mind?
I don't know. God. All the old games I'll play and all the new releases I'll likely ignore.
Fair question.
Very on track for me. I mean, I can count the new releases I play on one hand, really. Monster Hunter World was last year, this year even, if we're talking this year. And I don't even know what's out next year. GTA 6 is out, but, I'm not the massive GTA fan that some other people can be. So that's not too important to me. I guess I just play it by ear and just continue with my back catalogue, play whatever I fancy. But I know new games will come out that I want to play. I just can't think of anything right now. So I'm just going to continue what I'm doing and do my best and chill out with you guys and, keep supporting all the YouTubers I know. That's what I like doing.
That's fair. Well, thank you. I think we have reached the end of our conversation. It's a good time, 90 minutes. And thank you.
It's flown by, man.
Yeah, exactly. But I run out of questions. So from this point, it would be rambling, which is also fine. But thanks. Thank you for this insightful and personal conversation. I appreciate you for being here. And if you have someone I should interview, then by any means, give me the contact or anything, or people in the comments. If you watched it until now, then please let me know what guest should I put on this format next. Leave a comment. Do you have questions or just topics that you want me to discuss with a guest? It's a wonderful first episode. It couldn't have gone better. Thanks for being here, Mode. And
thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Check out his channel. It's called Mode 47 Trophy Hunter, I think, your channel, right? On YouTube. Check his channel out. I will leave it in the description. And Happy New Year, everyone. I'm not sure when this will air. I'm not sure when this will be aired. I do have a plan on editing a little bit, maybe insert some footage or something like that. It's definitely early 2026.
I look forward to rewatching it, reliving it.
Thank you, Mode, and thanks everyone. See you in the next video.